Computer. Okay, so here we are on this beautiful Thursday in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes.
Today we have with us Malcolm Roberts and Terence Guest. So I decided that I wanted to reach out to some of my affiliates in the neighborhood while we were shut in and just start to talk to them about what kinds of things they're doing in their businesses to keep their businesses thriving throughout this time. And we could get together and talk about those things while we inform the community at the same time. And that's one of the reasons why we're here today. We want to let our listening audience and everyone out there that sees this when it goes live that we are still here and we are still doing business. We've had to tweak it a little bit and do it a little bit differently, but we are here for you. I am a real estate agent here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I've been licensed for 15 plus years, and I will introduce you to Malcolm and Terence, and they can tell you a little bit about who they are and what they've been doing in their business throughout the time frame that they've been in their business. And then we're going to get into what's happening in our market a little bit. I want to talk to you about some of the numbers that I've pulled up in terms of our pending sales and our inventory, and to give you an idea about what's going on in the market here. And then we'll get into Malcolm talking about, home inspections, how he's going about doing those now in a safe manner, accommodating the needs of the buyers and the sellers, and what that looks like in terms of the time that we're in. And Terence is going to talk to us about loans and mortgages and tips that you should be following right now. If you're in a position to buy, that's great. He's the guy for you, I'm sure. And if you're not, he can talk to you about some of the things that right now, maybe while you're shut in, that you could be doing to prepare yourself to buy at some point, hopefully soon. Some of the mortgage do's and don'ts, things about your credit score and how to get a great credit rating, and some of the things that you have to be doing now in your life to work your way in that direction. So, like I said, I've been licensed here in Charlotte, North Carolina for 15 plus years. I survived the fallout in 2007, 8, and 9 when the market crashed. And I thought at first, oh, here we go again. But what I'm noticing when I went back and did some research was that it's not, I don't think it's going to, in my professional opinion, I don't think we're going to go back to that time frame in 2007, 8, and 9. And because when I look at the historical pending sales activity that took place back then, we saw a much deeper fluctuation in the market, and we're not seeing that now. We're seeing, where we have I guess in the last 3 months, if I look at the period ending April 4th of this year, 2020, we had 645 homes that were pending on our market for that particular week ending April the 4th. And now for the week ending April 25th, we have pending sales up at 1,090. So we are still out here, we're still selling, and that's right in the middle of this pandemic. Our inventory, is a little low, but then the current inventory is at 8,000, whereas 1 year ago it was at 10,000. But we are seeing, things start to pick up, especially in, as new construction and building has continued, because it was labeled an essential need for right now. So that's helping us on that end. Now for days on the market for actives to contract time frame, we're seeing we're about an average of 45 days on the market from the time the home goes active to the time that it goes under contract. So they're moving pretty quickly. A year ago, they were average about 51 days from active to under contract. So homes are moving, and the good news, especially on the more good news rather, especially on the sales side for sellers, is that in 2019 the median sales price of homes was 244,000, and for 2020 we're looking at 271,000. So quite a good number there, an improvement in equity and growth for sellers. It's definitely somewhat a seller's market, but buyers, and Terence will tell you about that, buyers are in a position to get really good interest rates and you know, kind of make up for that on that end by having a lower interest rate when they prepare to purchase. So that's kind of what, in a nutshell, that I found, and then we can kind of come back around as we discuss things collaboratively during the discussion and see, you know, what else I can add. But Terence, if we want to start with you and kind of see what's going on your side of things out there from the mortgage standpoint.
Absolutely. Well, one, Natalie, thank you for putting this together. I think it's great to get in front of as many people as possible so that they can know that we are still here, but then, you know, that things are still moving just as fast as they were before the slowing of this whole pandemic and being forced to be indoors and be home and things of that sort. So first and foremost, I hope everyone is safe and sound. I hope this will be over soon, but at the same time, we just have to plug our energy into our work, our families, and other positive things, because if you're watching CNN and those other shows, too much of it is going to put you in a bad place. So that's my advice to anybody out there that's watching that stuff. But good afternoon, everyone. My name is Terence Guest, or good morning, depending on when you get to view this. My name is Terence Guest with Atlantic Bay. I've been in this mortgage, well, let's just say I've been in financial services for about 20 years. So I definitely started when I was 2, and that's what I'm sticking to. But with respect to what I see in the market or what's happening right now, things are still moving at a very historic fast pace. Buyers are still purchasing homes. Sellers, they're still selling homes. Our real estate agents like Natalie, our home inspectors like Malcolm, they're still plenty busy. Although, again, some of the rules have changed and things that they may be doing just to protect themselves and you, but things are still flying at a rampant pace. Here at Atlantic Bay, just to speak about us, we had one of our I want to say one of our historic months this past April, where we've helped over 2,000 families plus 2,000 plus families with respect to purchasing homes or refinancing and things of that sort. So the numbers are astronomical. As we say, we're in unprecedented times. I think we're still in unprecedented times because people aren't allowing things that are happening in the news just to stop whatever their goal was for 2020 with respect to purchasing a home, with respect to stop renting, or with respect to moving up into their next dream home. So all that is still happening, and it's not showing a slowdown. Rates are still historically low. When we say historically low, and when you look at that, go back, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, rates were around the 6.5% range. If you go even further than that, rates were 8, 12%, right? You can still have an interest rate right now in the 3% range, whether it be a conventional loan, FHA, VA, or even USDA. You will definitely be in the 3% range with respect to the environment. So that's what's happening. If you're still eager and willing to buy, you are in the right place. You're in the right mindset. You're not alone. So again, stay off CNN, tune in to Natalie and her show, and you'll definitely be better off. And I'll pass it over to Malcolm.
Hey, hi guys. I'm Malcolm Roberts with I have my own home inspection company called MBR Home Inspections. And I've actually been in this industry for the industry of dealing with homes for over about 25 years. I've actually gotten into the home inspection business within about the last 4 years. and I actually worked for a couple companies, and I decided about 2 years ago to start my own company. Not to necessarily throw any companies under the bus, but I just basically the companies that I did work for were excellent companies, good people. But I just decided to do my own thing, which actually works better for me. That way I can work on my own time. And, I've actually gotten to a point to where my business is pretty good. As a matter of fact, just to piggyback on Natalie and Terence, what they're saying about the economy has not slowed down. People
Right.
are still buying, and and I know things are a little different now as far as doing inspections.
Right.
As a matter of fact, now we're required well, first of all, we're essential workers, of course, and we're required to wear gloves and mask, which I definitely do. And before I go inside any home, and I also personally I wear glasses, as you can see, but I also wear goggles. I take the glasses off and I would put my goggles on just to be safe, a little bit safer maybe.
Mm.
I do that, and I definitely sanitize. But actually, it's very understandable that for people to actually want you to be safe when you come in their homes. But I also have a life too, and I want to be safe for
Right.
myself. I have a family, I that I come home to, so I make sure I do the right and proper things by them to take, so I make sure that we want to keep everybody safe. But anyway, the home inspection business is still going because people are purchasing, and which is good. The economy is still going good from everything, all the telltale signs that I'm seeing. um, and basically, like I said, you have to be a little safer now, doing the actual inspections. And and you know it's just one of those things that I actually love doing. I enjoy my work. Um, I take my time. My prices are very, very good. As a matter of fact, I'm probably on the lower end of the pricing spectrum, because if you price home inspections, they can go up pretty high.
Yeah.
Just
It
depending
can
on, it
be.
just depends on, everybody's different. I start, just to give you an idea, I start at $300. And that's my base price
You
for
kind of
anything.
you kind of judge that based on square footage too, right? You're
Yep.
sometimes in terms of what you charge.
Yeah, that's basically it, Natalie. What I do is I basically work off of, okay, anything under 1,100 square feet without a crawl space in a garage is it's $300. And I go up, in increments of square footage, as you just stated, Natalie. And I take my time. I do the work. I also give the radon test if needed. And also radon the water test if that's needed. It just depends on what's wanted or needed. Uh,
Right.
for the loan, some loans require these things. So, but basically, uh, like I said, business is it's a little different doing the inspections now, but business is still going good, which thank God for that. We're blessed to be in such a vicinity of a lot of the Charlotte. And I'm like, first of all, I'm licensed in North and South Carolina, number one,
Mhm.
and we're in probably one of the best areas of the country, where real estate is really still doing well and people are still moving here to our wonderful city. Although Terence is from Philly, he's a Charlottean now. So, but
Watch
anyway,
out. He still can be called a Yankee down this way.
Terrence, that's my guy. That's my guy. We got him. We got him now, Natalie. But actually, guys, it's just that I still feel like we're in one of the best areas. Period. And things are going well, and they'll continue to go well in the economy. And I feel good about the future. I mean, we're in the month of May, and we still got to finish out the spring. you know,
Right,
and
right.
some are strong, which we will. So that's pretty much, you know, my business. You know,
So Malcolm, what are some of the things when we get into the specifics as you're doing a home inspection? Uh, Tell us some of the things that the seller can do to make your job easier and to make, you know, make the home more prepared for you when you get there. What should the seller do prior to the inspection to prepare for the inspection?
well, okay, as far as the sellers are concerned, um, the biggest thing is if they're still inside the home
Right.
and the home is not vacant, um, they can actually, if they, I don't move, first of all, let me say this, I don't go in moving furniture, okay? So if
Right,
they
right.
want me to check windows, outlets, these kind of things, you know, they're going to have to make it convenient for me to be able to check what needs to be checked. Because basically, you know, when you go inside a home, you know, you should be able to check certain things. You know, sometimes I'll go inside an attic space and they'll
Right.
have clothes everywhere. They'll have chairs and tables right in front of the furnace.
Yeah,
So if they got,
you're gonna need those things, the furnace, the water heaters, the attics, all of those things cleared of any obstructions so that you can
exactly,
get in and make sure you've done, you know, a pretty thorough inspection.
exactly, and
And
inside, and
garage as well, right? Because sometimes you got the electrical boxes and stuff out in the garage, hot water heaters out in the garage.
that's right.
So you want to have access to those electrical boxes
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
things
exactly.
like that.
Yeah, that exactly, and that's the biggest issue that I have is just the, like you just said, the obstructions, the different obstructions within a home, within the interior, the exterior, you know, in the garage, you know, and that's basically, you know, the biggest issue that I do have that I come across from time to time.
Mhm. Okay. And
Mhm.
now, you know, I know you touched on it a little bit, but what in this scenario with the virus still out there, we're still kind of moving our way. I guess we're moving into phase 2 or
Mhm.
wherever. We're not exactly sure. I think we're heading out of phase 2. So we still, like you were saying and describing, we still have some of those restrictions. So what is the how are sellers, what is their attitude when you go now to inspect? Are they wanting to, I know a lot of times you want them to be out of the house so it can make your job easier. And so what are you telling, what should the buyer and or the seller especially now in this scenario when you prepare to inspect the home? What are some of the things that you would like to see happening in terms of where we are now prior to you going into the home, besides all these things in preparation for the inspection?
Well, the biggest thing is I really prefer, number one, for them not to be there. I
Right.
do ask them not, you know, kindly in a nice way, if you know, if they to not be there, and if they are there, not follow me around and ask a bunch of questions. I get this a lot of times for sellers that actually prefer to be there inside the house, following you around.
Yeah.
I've actually, you know, I'm a nice guy, but you know, it gets to a point sometimes people just they're like, well, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna watch you. I'm gonna talk to you the whole time, and you know that's a big distraction. I find that sometimes, but you know, people are people, and you know everybody's different, and you know, you know, but that's the biggest issue that I actually have with people because for the most part, if they leave the house, if you know, when I come inside a house, if they are actually still there, I really don't have a big issue with that as long as they're just not right bearing down
Right.
on behind me and
Not
around,
breathing down your neck,
breathing
right?
down my neck.
Now, in some cases, the buyers do like to be at the inspection so that they can, or at least kind of come towards the end of the inspection time frame so that they can speak to you about anything that you may or may not have found. So I think you're probably good with that. But just having someone there and kind of following you around the house the entire, what is it, average about 3 hours that you're there
Yeah,
typically?
first of all, let me make it clear. The buyers, I do not have a problem with buyers coming around me and asking questions. I want them to ask questions because it's their house. Well, hopefully it's going to be their house.
Right.
But as far as they're concerned, they can ask questions. They can follow me. They can be there for the first, for the whole entire inspection if they prefer that. But as far as timing, normally depending on the size of the home, whatever, the average time is anywhere between about 2 and 3 hours, and the average time is about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And and I usually ask the buyer, if they really want to be there the whole time, it's fine with me. But a lot of times, they'll say, well, I'm kind of busy. I'm coming from work. And I say, well, why don't you come for the last hour? So if I schedule it at 2 o'clock, I say, well, why don't you come about, 3:30, and then that way you can come in and, and on the last end of it, I'll give you an oral report on everything that's going on with your house. And that way, and most of the time, nine times out of 10, that's what usually happens. But they are welcome to come the whole time if that's what they want to do. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's always good. I think they're curious and they want to find out as much as they can right after the inspection to kind of help them make a decision in terms of where they're going to go and get an idea of what's going to be on the report. But getting back to Terence now on the mortgage side, Terence, I know there's still a lot of people out there that for one reason or another may have some credit score challenges. So one of my questions for you was, what would you say are the most important, let's say, top 5 or 6 do's and don'ts for buyers that are trying to get themselves in a position to purchase a home? What should they be doing in preparation for that?
Definitely. So what I want our buyers to know that, and you heard it here first, right? Buying a home is going to be the single most important thing that you ever do in life, aside from have kids, right? So kids, God, they're on a different level.
After you get married.
As far as, that's right, yeah. I forgot we had a woman here, Malcolm. No, we're playing. And get married. You're right.
No, only from a woman.
That's right. You're right, Miss Natalie. Yeah, and
put a ring on it.
That's over there too, right? You see, you got me stuttering over here. So, but when you talk about buying a house as a home buyer, you sit down, income, assets, credit. Those are the 3 pillars. Let's call them pillars. Those are the 3 pillars needed in purchasing a home. Flat out, it don't happen without it, right? When you speak about the credit part of it, right? I want to say this, and again, if you end up bleeping this part out, it's okay, Miss Natalie, we're still cool. But I want folks to know that credit is important. I'm going to say it's so 2019 and yesteryear to have bad credit. There are too many financial engines out right now for you to be able to locate, not necessarily a score. I'm not worried about the score, but you should know what's on your credit. You should know delinquency of payments. You should know collections. You should know what my utilization is with respect to credit cards. Those are the things that you have to know about your credit. So I wouldn't necessarily worry about whether you're looking at Credit Karma, you're looking at your credit card website, you're looking at freecreditreport.com. I don't get excited, or I don't look at the score. The reason I don't look at the score is because that score is for consumer consumption only. So that score is nowhere near or even indicative of what the score will be when you have a lender like myself pull your credit, correct? So don't pay attention to the score. So that's the first thing that I'm going to say. If you're trying to work on your credit and things of that sort, don't worry about the score. Worry about the work that you're putting into make sure you're paying your bills on time, that you're paying your credit card balances down, that you're not having a whole bunch of inquiries and applying for different things and things of that sort. But when I say getting ready to buy a house, you want to ensure that your credit is in the best place that it can possibly be in. So that, as I say, with this whole pandemic happening, it's given lenders an opportunity to tighten up guidelines. So you'll find some lenders have raised credit reports, right? Raised credit scores. Some have said, you know what, if you don't even have a 700 credit score, don't call me. Fortunately, Green Bay is not one of those lenders. We still are lending with, minimum credit score for an FHA or VA is 580. Minimum credit score for a USDA loan is 620. Minimum credit score for a conventional loan is 620. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, when we say minimum, when you're looking for that spouse, like Natalie just said, are you looking for minimum or are you looking for the best? Looking for the cream of the crop, right? So although you may be dealing with minimum standards, those are the minimum. Minimum does not mean you're going to get approved with a minimum score. Yes, we will look at it. Yes, we will review. Yes, I will have the conversation with you and say, hey, this is what I would suggest you do. But you don't want to hinge on or stay on minimum. Oh, he said I just need a 580 and I didn't get approved. Right, because that's the minimum score. With a 580, you're also going to need a lot of money to go along with that. But when you talk about your credit and things of that sort, I would say, again, ensure you're making your payments on time. Missing payments, being more than 30, 60, 90 days late, it's a huge problem. An underwriter is going to eat that file alive and is going to say, if you can't pay your bills on time for 30 days, why do I think you're going to pay me back when you're paying the bank back, right? Let's just think about that. When you think about your credit card utilization, you actually lose points when you max your credit card out. So if you are greater than 50% utilization of your credit card, you are losing points on your credit card, ladies and gentlemen. The goal is, and let's put the math out there, right? I have a credit card. The limit is $1,000. What should my balance I carry on a monthly basis? The monthly basis balance you should carry should be no more than $200. How do you do that? You pay your bills. So yes, I got a card for $1,000. Use that card. Use it on gas. Use it to pay your inspection when Malcolm comes and buys your new house. I mean, when you're going to buy your new house, use it for your inspection, right? Don't use it for due diligence or earnest money because you can't use credit for that. You got to use your hard-earned money of writing it out your bank account. But use that card. Swipe it at the gas stations. Buy yourself a nice shirt. Buy yourself a TEG mortgage hat. Doesn't matter, right? But the thing about it is that you're going to need to do is that you're going to need to pay that card down. So let's just say your card is, let's say your I don't want to give anybody any shouts because they're not paying us for it. But let's just say your Visa or MasterCard or American Express, doesn't matter. Let's say it's due on the 15th of the month. If it's due on the 15th of the month, then that means when that payment is due, you need to make sure that your utilization is down on the 15th when you make that payment. Because guess what, ladies and gentlemen, 2 to 3 days after you make that payment, that's when the bureaus come ask your credit card company, how are you using that card, right? And then that's what they actually post to the Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's credit counseling. That's understanding how to use your balances. If you're maxing your cards out, you're losing points on your cards. Let's talk about collections. I'm not credit repair. I don't pretend to be. However, as a loan officer, as a licensed loan officer for both North and South Carolina, when you look at collections, retail collections, those are things that you can possibly pay or you can actually settle on. When you look at medical collections, I would tell anyone with respect to a medical collection, if you have a medical collection and you can possibly pay it off, ask for a deletion. Ask to pay to delete the file, delete that credit collection, medical collection off your credit report. Pay them whatever they want to get that collected off your credit report. Because if your collections are removed, your scores will shoot up exponentially. So again, we're looking at credit, we're looking at assets, we're looking at income. Those are the mainstays, the pillars that you need to purchase a home. Ladies and gentlemen, hear me out. The old way is thinking that I'm gonna go into this house and I have to put anything down. That is not the case anymore. That ship has sailed. That ship has sailed. Yes, North Carolina housing, they're still available, they're still working. South Carolina housing, they're still working, they're still available. That assistance is out there. However, due to COVID-19, those specific down payment assistance agencies have decided to change how they would like to do their verification of employments. They've added and started doing verification employments post-closing, meaning that after you get the keys, after Natalie gets that big check of closing on your home loan, and
Not
Terence
that
collects,
big.
and Terence collects his peanuts.
Split too many ways by the time it gets to me.
Don't worry about that.
I got peanuts over here too, so.
Absolutely. But after closing, post-closing, and probably after you even had the housewarming, those agencies will come back and say, hey, we need to do a verification of employment to see if you're still working, if you're still gainfully employed. Let's just say you were working 40 hours, but because of COVID-19, you're now working 32 hours. That agency, because I'm a lender, they will not buy that loan. So you got your down payment assistance, you got your house, you got your keys. I have to sell the loan so that I can make my income. If I can't sell the loan, I can't make my income. That's a whole lot of risk for Atlantic Bay TEG Mortgage to take on with respect to not knowing what's happening post-closing. I'm on the hook all the way through the day of closing, but after we close, I'm not in the game anymore. And for me to have to still be on the hook or in the game with respect to having to hold a mortgage, ladies and gentlemen, that's not what we're in the business of doing. We're in the business of selling mortgages. We're in the business of educating and getting you into homes. We're not in the business of making your mortgage payment. And unfortunately, with those down payment assistance agencies, we've had to suspend our relationship, not end it. I truly hope that it will continue and start up again very soon. I don't know when, but right now, for South Carolina housing, but North Carolina housing, we have suspended those relationships based on that. Now, what does that mean? Terence, are you doing down payment assistance? Absolutely. I'm still using the city of Charlotte, called House Charlotte. I'm still using the city of Concord. I'm still using the city of Kannapolis. I'm still using the city of Rock Hill. I'm still using the city of Gastonia. So again, there are a plethora. I'm still using the city of High Point. Excuse me, but there are a plethora of down payment assistance programs, local city ones that you can go out and get. Again, are there other lenders that are still doing down payment assistance with the federal level, South Carolina housing, North Carolina housing? Absolutely. But when you go to them, they'll tell you they've raised their credit requirements that you would have to meet in order for them to do it. So again,
I was gonna ask, how in the world are they managing to do that? It's such a high risk.
it's a very high risk. So what they're saying though, some are saying if you have a credit score of a 700, right?
Yeah.
To have a 700 credit score, you pretty much show that the financial responsibility to pay your house and pay your things back. But it's still a big risk, and it's too much risk for me and our company. And the reason is because you and I, the three of us know, life happens to everybody. Just keep living. You can have an 850 credit score. You can have a 300 credit score. Life will happen to you. And if you lose your income, there's going to be things that's going to happen that you won't be able to pay. And it doesn't matter whether or not you had an 850 credit score or you had a 300. If you don't have a job, there's nothing you can do. And no income is no income.
Wow, that's kind of scary. It kind of brings back memories of what was going on prior to the market crash there.
Absolutely. So the good thing, and Natalie, I do agree with you 1,000%. The market is strong. The housing market is strong. The economy, we ladies and gentlemen, newsflash, if you didn't know, we are in a recession. We are in a recession. So yes, don't make no bounds about it. This is a recession.
30 million plus people.
Absolutely. However, the housing crash, what happened in 2008, the last recession, it was due to the housing industry. The economy, everything that they're doing with respect to preparing folks for homes or preparing for stimulus checks and everything that the government is doing, they're doing their very, very best to keep the housing afloat, keep folks still moving forward. So that's why we're still able to say we're still here, we're still making things happen. And for the foreseeable future, that's just exactly what happened. But yes, this is a recession. Yes, unemployment numbers are tremendously very high. Our peers, some have lost income, they've lost jobs, they've been furloughed. Definitely nothing but respect and empathy for those going through that. And you will get through it and you will be fine. But at the same time, you know, you're going to have, when the world does open back up, unfortunately, like Tyler Perry said, you're going to have the have and you're going to have the have-nots. We just want to try to promote as many people into having as much as possible.
Right.
Amen.
Ooh, that was a lot. That was some great stuff there, Terence.
Yes. Sorry.
Amen.
You had to edit some of it.
We're just
so we don't
gonna
get sued.
Hey, don't be sorry. I was taking it in as well.
Me too,
You
man.
educated me on a lot of stuff I didn't know about the loan programs, what's going on with financial assistance from the state and stuff. So that was great information.
Good
Great.
stuff.
Gonna have to do one of these just on credit repair and financial assistance and down payment assistance and all that stuff one day.
Yeah.
But-
The biggest thing that I'll leave this and say, and definitely whatever the next question is, but I want everyone to understand, right? And please look at me. There's nothing wrong with putting your own money down to purchase a home. This is a big investment. I certainly implore that any mattress money that you have, any extra money, anything that you may have, by putting it into your investment of a home, Malcolm will tell you, Natalie will tell you, homes appreciate. Buying the latest Jordans, buying a car, although you need transportation, don't get me wrong, you need Jordans because you need something on your feet, I get it. However, those are depreciating assets.
Well, you could get Reebok, you don't have to
You
get
can
the
get Reebok. You can get Reebok. I'm branded by my friends over at Nike, so I said Jordans. But with that being said, my thing is though, you can put money down. Do not be afraid of putting money down. Do not go off of, oh well, my friend or my neighbor or my other person didn't have to do that. That day is gone.
Yeah,
Putting money down as a first-time home buyer, you can put as low as down as 3% on a conventional loan. That's what can happen. FHA, 3.5%. If you need to liquidate funds from your 401k, this might be the time to do it. Last I checked, there was something called the CARES Act out, where they were allowing you to take funds from your 401k to be able to put down on a home, to put down something on an investment. So with that being said, I just want to implore everyone, putting money down on a house is called an investment. It's called what's happened to a lot. I will say this, and you will see this posted again. I do believe that we went too far left on the pendulum of down payment assistance. Having folks come out and be able to put money down, get into a house, not have to put anything out or getting refunds back at closing. That doesn't happen on a purchase transaction. That was unheard of. So for those that it happened, I was at the closing table. I was taking pictures with you. I was applauding you. I'm with you. I'm okay with it. However, today is a new day. Part of the new normal, you have to have income. You have to have assets. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to have credit. You have to. You have to. And it's not that you're not behind. No, don't think of that. It's only one race. It's your own race. But what I have to say to you is that you have to come with skin in the game in order for you to become a homeowner. A homeowner is not, unfortunately, is not a God-given right. It's
right.
not.
It's a big investment. It's a very important,
big investment.
It's one of your big lifetime decisions. And I think you're right. We went way too far to the other side with people, and maybe doing people justice by making them think and believe that they can get into a home with zero funds, and
Correct.
someone else's. I think that had a lot to do with what happened in 08, and obviously it did, as we can see from the way it turned out when those mortgage loans went skyrocket and people couldn't afford to pay them.
Correct.
So, that's great information for first-time home buyers and any buyer really, to understand that, because people will look at you and, out here and say, what do you mean I have to have a down payment? I thought I could get in, and I thought I could buy the home without any money, or what's wrong with my credit score at 500, 530 or whatever it is. So yeah, so the bottom line is, if you have a 620 credit score and you've got 20% down, then what are you going to get at the end? A lower monthly mortgage rate and more home for your money, more value for your money. And whereas if you're coming in here with, 5% down or nothing down and a credit score of less than 520, then you of course are looking at a higher mortgage rate, and a higher interest rate and everything else, and higher monthly payments. So you have to look at where you are with all of that stuff, and just from the beginning to determine where you are and what you need to work on. And you are guaranteed, folks, a free credit report every year. You just have to pick up the phone and ask for it, or go online and order it. It's your right to get your report free once a year. And I think some of them will provide it to you for more than one time a year, every 6 months. So you can look into that. And, you know, if you don't have any idea what your credit looks like. So I think that kind of wraps up some of the things that I wanted to discuss. If you guys have anything else to add at some point during the process, at least from my standpoint as a real estate agent, you got, and I come upon you as a buyer of any kind, or seller or investor, at some point during the process, unless you are paying cash for a home, we're going to run into Terence Guest or Malcolm Roberts. They're going to be involved at somewhere along the line in the process, because that's how we're going to get you from point A to point B, and then at the closing table from start to finish. So we're part of that package. We're part of your support team, and here to help you get into the home and, you know, purchase the home, buy the home, invest in the home, whatever it is that you're looking to do out here in building a future for you, rather than let's say renting and paying for the building for the landlord. You know, I always say to people that are in the rental world, you know, if you're spending what, $1,100, $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 a month to rent an apartment, you know, you can get a home for less than that per month. You just have to make up your mind that you're going to work, you know, do what you have to, look at your credit report and start building your way, you know, building things so that you can move in that direction. You know, it's a process and it can be done. I think a lot of people are just, you know, I get people calling me that are, hey, I saw you online. I really don't want to buy the home. I think I just want to rent for a year. And then when I start talking to them about where are you? What is it that's going on your credit that you're unsure of? Have you taken a look at it in the past year? How do you know that you're not, you know, in a position to? A lot of them don't even know. They haven't gotten a credit report. They're just assuming that they are not in a position to purchase a home. And I'm trying to, you know, I know you guys are too, we're trying to change that mindset and make more people realize that, you know, you can have that dream. So I thank you guys for joining me. It was nice to meet you, Terence and Malcolm. We talk a lot all the time, but
Yeah.
and
Malcolm knows everybody.
Not everybody. I know all the good people. How about that?
It'll work. It'll work. And I know we're getting ready to sign off, but one thing I'll just add is, ladies and gentlemen, it is so important that you have a home inspection. You'll have lenders say, no, I don't need it, right? Depending on the loan, as Natalie said to you earlier. But again, we talk about the investment. If you're spending anything on an investment, you want to spend the $400, $500, $600 it may cost for a home inspection. Malcolm is going to tell you, let's say Malcolm's going to make those walls talk. So again, yeah, you're going to know exactly what the flooring, what the walls, what the furnace, all those things. So yes, home inspections, put it on your list. It's needed. Yes, you want to pay for it. You want to pay for it in advance. Some will allow you to put it on a closing. Malcolm allows you to do that too, but no, you want it immediately. You want to know exactly where it's at. You get that home inspection, because that's all part of your due diligence and ensuring that the home you want to buy is truly your dream home.
Absolutely right. And Malcolm, you know, he's so good, and you'll be looking at that report going, everything that he went through and saw in that house is drawn out for you, and you know exactly. If you didn't know where things are in that house, you now know them when you get that report.
I try to educate folks as much as possible.
Yeah.
You know, they want to know what's going on. You know, I have people that ask, you know, what's a furnace? What's an air conditioner condenser coil? So I try to educate folks, you know, to let them know, hey, this is what this is how it works, and let me show you what's going on with it. So but thank you guys. I mean, yeah, I really do take this seriously, because I actually, you know, I prefer for them to come to the inspection so they can see for themselves what's actually going on. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but if they do, I just, you know, and even I'm the type person, I'll come back if they're working, if it's not convenient for them to come to the inspection, I'll come back at another time and show them actually what's going on, So I try to work with folks, and we all got to work, and so I've worked with them and help them in any way I can.
Good deal.
And by the way, I just want to let you guys know I don't really do the social media stuff, the Facebook stuff, but I can be reached at MDR Home Inspections can be reached at 704-449-9800. My name again is Malcolm Roberts, and my email address is bac2mac2@yahoo.com if you need me. Thank you, guys.
You're so welcome. I was going to close out with that, so you're ahead of me there. So good deal. Good deal.
Thank you.
So you guys know how to contact Malcolm Roberts and Terence Guest, with Atlantic Bay Mortgage. He's going to sign off and give you his contact information, and then I'll give you mine. So either one of us, or you can contact me, and of course I'll refer you to either one of those. If you're in the market to sell, to buy, to invest, to build, anything in the real estate industry, just get in touch with one of us, and we would be sure. If we can't help you, we definitely will find someone who can.
Absolutely. No, Natalie, thank you for putting this together. I really hope that folks take notes, they rewind and fast forward, but go back to it again, because it's very important that we as a community understand the importance of home ownership, but then we know how to do it, right? You can always get a ticket to the dance, but if you don't know how to play the dance, so you don't know what music they're going to play when you get there, then you don't know, you feel out of place. But yes, again, my name is Terence Guest. I can be reached at a few places. You can email me at terence.e.guest. Excuse me, let's turn it over. You can email me at terenceguest, TERENCEGUESS @atlanticbay.com. You can also follow me at TEG_mortgage. You'll find me both on Facebook and Instagram. My work number is area code 980-500-9162. If you send me one of those, instant messages, I may not get it. So it'd be best that you call me.
It's not on
email
Messenger.
and we go about making it happen. But yeah, I'm very passionate, and these guys are as well, but just very passionate of seeing people win. So let's do our bang up job of making it happen, and let's support each other. The last thing I'll say, just as a part of this, is that every person you see in this 3 squares are kind of self-employed, right? So we only get paid until a loan closes, or you only get paid until an inspection happens. So all I ask, and I'm not speaking for Natalie or Malcolm, because they can do it themselves, but I just ask that you be serious. If you're serious, I'm willing to help you. That's all. Not asking you for any money, not asking you for anything. I just need to know that you're serious. If you're serious, I'll run through a wall for you.
Right. So true. So true. It's incredible. Yeah, I agree with you, Terence, all the way.
Oh yeah, amen.
Time is money, folks, and we, just like you, we have to make a living. We're working for you, but at the same time, we've got family to feed, bills to pay. We're all in the same boat, when you think about it. So we'll close now, and I'll give you my information. I'm Natalie Bingham. Like Terence, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter, working my way towards Instagram. I am on Messenger, because that's Facebook's cousin, right? So you can reach me at, my name is Natalie Bingham, so that's my same email address, Natalie Bingham, 4 @gmail.com. My phone number is 704-957-5393. So we look forward to doing one of these again. If anybody has any questions, just call either one of us or contact us on social media. Be happy to assist you. All right, guys. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.